You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, Days of Our Lives fans. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I've got your weekly prediction edition for Days. And every one of our 3 predictions we have for you are based on official spoilers. I'm going to tell you what spoilers they are based on, and then I'm going to tell you what the prediction is. So I'm going to be very clear and careful to tell you what spoiler, what speculation. So we're just, sitting around as friends over coffee, having a conversation about what we think is going to happen on your favorite NBC streaming soap opera. And I look forward to your comments on whether you agree or disagree with me. Either way, I'm happy. I love to read your comments. I love your feedback. I love talking about soaps, as you guys know, if you tune in and listen here regularly. All right, before I dig into these 3 predictions, I would love it if you would reach down, click subscribe if you haven't already. The 3 predictions, I've got one about Chloe and Xander and the baby and Phillip, and then another about Vivian Alamain, and then another about Eric and Sloan. Let's dig in. I think my prediction is that Chloe Lane is going to tell Xander Cook the truth about his baby daughter that was just born, and I think she's going to leave town with Phillip Kiriakis. So this week, Chloe and Xander have some quality time together. I've seen a spoilers pick that's pretty racy, but their time is definitely running out. Already, John Paul Lavoisier, who's playing Phillip Kiriakis right now, has had 5 episodes on the air. That's of Friday the 15th that he has had 5 episodes air. And JP told Soap Digest that he taped 13 episodes. So that means, if we do the math, if I'm doing my math right, he's got 8 more episodes to go. I know that this week of the 18th through the 22nd, he has at least 2 episodes, perhaps more, and then he's got more episodes the week of the 25th. So we are looking at this week, next week, maybe a little bit into the following week, maybe not. We'll see before John Paul Lavoisier is done and Phillip Kiriakis leaves Salem, at least for now, if not for good. As for Chloe, we know 7 actresses were hit with cuts. 5 were fired, 2 were offered to convert from contract to recurring. One of those 2 was Martha Madison, and she told them, no, thank you. I don't know yet who is the other one. It's all going to come out eventually, but right now it's still like who is going, obviously we'll find out once they go, but hopefully we'll find out sooner than that from some leaks. Talia is out, Gabby is out, and I definitely suspect Nadia Bjorlin is one of those 2. A source that sends us some, I'm going to call it 88% reliable info. Sometimes a couple of the details are off, but most of the details are spot on, and they have told me that they have a family member that works over at Days behind the scenes. So we'll see. So this leaker told me that Chloe exits not long after the birth of Sarah's baby, which just happened. And then we've got a spoiler photo that I believe is coming up towards the end of the week. We'll see. But it's Chloe walking up on Rex and Phillip. They are talking. They're sitting at one of those little tables in Horton Square outside. What is it? The cafe, whatever it is there. And so I wonder if then that happens on Friday the 22nd and then repeats on Monday just because of the timing of some spoilers I'm about to share. So the spoiler pick should be this week, but on Monday, September 25th, official day spoiler says Chloe overhears something. What I think she's going to overhear based on the spoiler and the timing and based on that photo is that Rex Brady is telling his brother, Phillip Kiriakis, that Sarah's baby is not his, that it's Xander's. Probably Phillip is congratulating him about, oh, are you so excited that your daughter has been born, yada, yada. And I think Rex is going to tell his brother the truth. I mean, that is the kind of truth that you should tell your brother. And maybe that's what Chloe overhears, because then on September 26th, The spoiler says Chloe Lane has a huge life choice she has to make. And I suspect that life choice is whether she is going to keep Xander for herself and marry him knowing that he has a child out there that he doesn't know about, or she could tell the truth and lose him, as she knows that she would, and that she mentioned, I believe it was to Rex the other day, that if Sarah had been carrying Xander's baby, she knew her engagement would be over before it started. Then the day after she's making that decision, on September 27th, Rex's wedding to Sarah starts, and she reportedly has cold feet. That same day, Chloe is asking Phillip Kiriakis about his feelings, and I wonder if those are her feelings for her. So some fans think that she might leave town with Rex because they have a past too. Because Rex is definitely going to go off the rails with Sarah, that fake romance is going to fall apart, because we know from a leak from Maggie Horton actress Suzanne Rogers that Xander and Sarah are going to be remarried pretty soon. I really doubt that Chloe is leaving with Rex because of the specific spoiler about Chloe asking Phillip about his feelings, and also because she specifically told Kate not that long ago that she really loved Phillip, which is a kind of a present tense sort of statement. All right, so that's what I think. Second prediction, I think that Vivian Alamain is soon to be thwarted and is going to leave town with nothing. No Kiriakis fortune in her pocket, no keys to the kingdom. This week, Shane Donovan, and I'm so excited to see Charles Shaughnessy back. Shane has this metal briefcase that he's carrying around, and it was found in the wreckage of Victor Kiriakis' plane crash. And then Teresa Donovan, his daughter, talks him into entrusting it to her, and she's going to try to leverage this to get closer to Brady Black and Alex Kiriakis. And then we have, at the same time, back in Salem, Vivian acting like the Kiriakis mansion is hers, Titan is hers, all of it is hers. Thursday, September 22nd, a spoiler says Chad DiMera finds a new boss at work. Maybe it's Vivian. And then on Friday the 22nd, Vivian makes Phillip an offer. Maybe she's offering him the CEO job at Titan. But I don't think that offer is going to last, because Brady and Alex come back later this week, and they give the briefcase to Justin, who runs it over to Maggie. And it looks like they open it on Friday, and they see his last will and testament in there, because the one in the safe was destroyed. So this seems to be a new one. And then on Monday, the 25th, a spoiler says we're going to find out what it says. Then a spoiler for Friday, September 29th says Vivian finds out what is in the will. So even if she was Victor's legal wife because of a paperwork screw up, his last will and testament will determine who gets things. And I definitely think that Maggie is going to get a whole lot of his riches. And maybe he's going to say that he wants somebody else in charge of Titan, but I don't think he's going to leave Vivian a plug nickel, unless, of course, he leaves her something specific and insulting, because that would be kind of funny if Victor pulled one last rotten thing and just gave out some kind of insulting bequest to people that have rubbed him the wrong way. That'd be kind of funny. I am enjoying this last little mystery plot as a tribute to Victor Kiriakis and his decades, and John Aniston's decades on Days. So Louise Sorel and Vivian Alamain usually have short runs. We don't have a specific end date for Louise Sorel's arc this time, but I just don't think she's going to stay that long, and especially not after this will comes out, and I think she's going to come up with nothing. I think everybody's going to tell her to kick rocks, and she is going to leave town. My third and final prediction is about Eric and Sloan and some pressure that is applied to him. Before I dig into that, if you haven't already, please reach down and click subscribe so you don't miss any of our Days of Our Lives updates, and definitely click like if you're enjoying this prediction edition. So Eric is going to be pressured to ditch Sloan, and I wonder if he's going to do it, and I don't think he is, and I still have some questions in my mind about whether she's going to confess to what she did. So next week, spoilers for Thursday and Friday, the 28th and the 29th. Marlena stops by Sloan's apartment where Eric has officially moved in. That's what the spoilers say. I think this was a poorly written spoiler, by the way, because me, and I think a lot of you guys, when I did, I think the 2-week spoilers, and I mentioned this, already thought that he had moved in with her quite a while back. So it's kind of weird. So Mama Marlena stops by, and then on Friday, she has some things to say that I definitely think his dad, Roman Brady, would agree with too. They are not fans of the lady lawyer. So the spoiler says Marlena does not like him living there with Sloan. And Doc is usually kind of more of, you can figure it out for yourself. You can figure out what the right thing is to do. In your heart she's not generally someone who says, you should do this. I think she tries to provoke people to get them to come to the right conclusions on their own. So it's kind of interesting that she speaks out in stark disapproval, I believe. The big question is, will Eric listen to her? I don't think he will. Because of this leaked script that came out in April, Jessica Serfaty, who plays Sloan Petersen, had done a little Instagram video in her dressing room, and there was a shot of a script, and this would be we don't know if it was a script that she was shooting that day or if it was for a little bit down the road, but there was a little scrap of it shown, and it was released in April, so it could be like October, November, early December. Maybe they're going to speed up the timeline of Nicole's labor and delivery, because in the script, Eric has left the room to go check on the baby. And then he comes back and Sloan asks if the baby is okay, and he says yes. So given her miscarriage, it's not their baby unless for some reason they adopt. I don't know. Maybe they adopt. That could be. That is an option. It's not their bio child because of her miscarriage, and they could speed up, though, the pace of Nicole's pregnancy. People on soaps generally don't do 9 months of pregnancy. They usually do more like, a few months of pregnancy, and then they grow that bump, and then it's like, oh, she's giving birth, sometimes early, but whatever. I expect we're going to see Nicole bumping out pretty significantly soon. So if that is Nicole's baby that's at the house with Eric and Sloan, that means that Eric knows the child is his, and it would be visitation. The other option is he and Sloan have adopted a baby, but adopting a baby usually takes a while. So we'll just see. What this spoiler and this leak script means to me is that despite Marlena's disapproval, I do not think that Eric is going to pack up and go, not even when he finds out the baby is his, because the truth of the matter is he could find out that Nicole's baby is his, but somehow maybe the truth that Sloan knew and was tampering with Tess doesn't come out. Maybe it remains hidden, or he could just forgive her. We'll see. He can hold a grudge. I mean, for a guy who was a priest who their stock and trade is giving forgiveness, right? So we'll just have to wait and see. Drop your comments below on what you think is going to happen with these spoilers. If you disagree with me about the predictions, that's great. I would love to hear about that too. I always enjoy having lively discussions about what's happening on our soap operas. So definitely drop your comments and come back soon for more on Days of Our Lives. This has been Belinda from Soap Dirt. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.